The Houthis have a poor record in political negotiations, yet giving up on negotiating with them is not an option. The international community is doubling efforts to pressure Houthis to make compromises in Yemen. The following report gives more details.
Following an 8-year-long impasse, attempts to push Yemen toward a political settlement have been reignited. The United Nations brokered truce between the warring sides, which was agreed upon at the start of Ramadan in early April, has been extended for a third 2-month term. However, many Yemenis question the possibility of peace negotiations with the Houthis, given that the rebel group has never expressed any interest in a negotiated settlement. The Houthis have consistently stipulated that any peace discussions must include satisfying their demands, such as the opening of Sana'a airport. This begs the question of whether the Houthis are prepared to compromise. The difficulty of reaching an agreement on simple humanitarian measures, such as the lifting of the years-long siege of Taiz, makes it difficult to be optimistic about the readiness to make concessions. The use of missile, drone, and artillery attacks by the Houthis accounted for 97% of ceasefire violations. Furthermore, the United Nations condemned the Houthi attack on a residential area in Taiz in July, barely 2 weeks before the truce renewal, in which 11 children were injured and 1 was murdered. The group's quick return to violence raised fears that the Houthis were only biding their time before resuming their military onslaught once the ceasefire expires. The longer they can keep the conflict running, the more influence they will have over state resources, while depending on assistance, illegal levies, and economic empowerment. Millions of dollars are pooling into Houthi regions as a result of their control of bank accounts, natural resources, and levies placed on ships landing at Hodeidah, as well as the collection of telecommunications sector revenues and levies on important enterprises. Meanwhile, the resources are funding war efforts such as the large military parade that was held in violation of the Hodeidah ceasefire agreement that was forged in Stockholm at the end of 2018. Giving up on peace talks, however, is not an option, because negotiation failure could mean an even worse outcome for Yemen's future. The difficulty for the UN and the international community will go beyond just securing an agreement and ensuring that the Houthis follow through on its provisions. To ensure fairness, violations of the agreement should be dealt with immediately, and consequences could be decided upon ahead of time to handle noncompliance.